seems to be the best way to get on YouTube right now. So I was trying Streamlabs, excuse me, again, because they updated the app, and I wanted to see if the comments burn to the stream. That is probably the most useful thing that I can think of that I'd like to have. Because if the comments burn on the stream, then we don't have to worry about nobody seeing them on the replay. Okay, let me show you what I'm eating here. I have some pad thai. Let me do this. And I was always counting that beautiful YouTube rear camera. Look at this. This is pad thai. I don't usually get this because it's noodles. I just had a desire to eat these. Here you go, look at that. Beautiful white rice noodles. And okay, so how's everybody doing? Please say hello. Make sure that you show us where, tell us where you're viewing from if you're new. And I'm going to enjoy this right here. This is great. When the lady brought it, she brought me a spoon and no chopsticks. I had to ask her to bring chopsticks. It's weird. So here it is. You guys used to watching me eat. The comments should be working, so please leave me comments. Ken Rod, how are you? Okay, I saw the first comment now from Ken Rod. How you doing, Ken Rod? I want to talk a little bit about Expats in a few minutes. Really good. I just showed this on the back camera. Quite good. Now, guy's been in the news for two reasons. Because, well, both are related to the fact that he has a drinking problem. He drinks too much. He gets so drunk. Okay, so I'm eating Thai-style pad Thai. Thai-style pad Thai today. Pretty good. So anyway, this expat that I want to talk about, he got really drunk and tattooed the words Taiwan on his forehead in Chinese, and he put the Taiwan flag, the independence flag, which isn't a real flag, on his chin. And then 2 days later, he got really super drunk again and got stopped on his motor scooter for DUI. And he was so drunk, the police say that he was unable to respond to questions. This guy runs a club. He's in Kaohsiung, and they say he's a naturalized citizen. Now the bad thing is, I mean, that's really negative, super negative publicity for Taiwan. But this guy evidently is a naturalized citizen. Now there's many expats living in Taiwan that do good for the country. They bring exports in, they create jobs. They're doing startups, they're educators, professionals, engineers, even lawyers. You never hear about them. You only hear about the idiot that gets drunk and gets his face tattooed. So if you want to have fun, his name is Paul Farrell. Just Google, British expat Taiwan tattooed forehead, and you'll get it. Now, this has pork in it. This pad thai, it's got all the usual stuff in it that you have in a So there you go. Yeah, I know it's buffering. I don't know why. Got my Wi-Fi box out there near the road. I just do not understand what's going on. Yep, we're live. I do not understand what's going on. This is crazy. Okay. Thanks there. Hey Henry, how you doing? All right. So I don't know if you caught it, but I was talking about this British expat who got really drunk, and he said he was in a conversation about Taiwan independence. Okay, good, thanks. And he went to a tattoo parlor, totally drunk, and got Taiwan tattooed on his face in Chinese, and the Taiwan independence flag, which isn't a real flag, it's just the independence people, designed it. And then 2 days later, he got stopped for DUI because he was riding his scooter erratically. And his blood alcohol was several orders of magnitude above the legal limit, and the police said that he was so inebriated he couldn't respond to questions. But they knew who he was because of the tattoos. So with all the expats here that do everything, the lawyers, the professional engineers, the people that are doing exports, the educators, the professionals, you don't hear about those people. You just hear about the idiots that drink too much. Guy's got a serious drinking problem because every time he drinks, apparently he gets just completely hammered. Doesn't know what he's doing. And of course he said his wife is mad at him. But the interesting thing is the news articles say that he's a naturalized Taiwanese citizen. And the other thing he did was he threw a Molotov cocktail. He firebombed a convenience store a couple of years ago over a dispute about a hamburger. So this guy's a loose cannon. I don't know why he's still walking around. Really weird. His name is Paul Farrell, and he runs a club called the Kayak Club in Kaohsiung, which is where my wife's family is from, and where I occasionally go back to visit. So I don't know, man. I don't get it. Now I was testing Streamlabs a few minutes ago, and Streamlabs was acting up. Yeah, those are gonna be people that should stay at home. I mean, indoors at home. So really, oh. Wow, Fats Domino. Wow, he just passed. He's 89 years old. He was great. I dated a girl who had a copy of his original 45, Blueberry Hill. That thing sold over 1 million records, so. Kamu ba ni ma? Okay, Jake, ma? Okay, there's a little girl behind me on her little bike. Okay, ma? Just kind of scared, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, a lot of people didn't know he was still alive. But that record sold over 1 million copies, and I used to play it and listen to it because it's a very, very good lesson on how to write a hit song. He was good. The structure of the song was nice, and the very end he brought the guitar back in. It's pretty cool. Yep, they're falling. I'm going to say it. These great artists, great musicians, great players, and great writers, who are they being replaced with? I mean, who's the next modern Jimmy Webb? Yeah. It's crazy. I don't think there are any. So you guys want to see the last little bit of pad thai? I'll show it to you. I'm eating pad thai. And that's what it looks like. I don't usually eat this, but I just had a and urge. That's the last little bit. Yeah, it's actually quite good. Surprisingly enough, why bother? Surprisingly enough, Win-Win's Place, yes. No, it's not spicy. It's pretty good, Matthew, I gotta admit. They do a good job here. I could have ordered it spicy, but just the way they make it. Yeah, we're coming down to the end. The funny thing is, when the lady brought it out to me, she brought me a spoon. I'm like, am I gonna eat that with this? And I had to ask her for chopsticks, and she went in and got them. Crazy. All right, anyway, Todd Standing, Sylvanic. I know, Henry. Mike, it's a pull-up from the bottom. I know what you mean. You got to pull it up, and you got to look at it. If you want to comment, you got to look at it in portrait mode. Otherwise, if you turn it to landscape mode, then the comments should show in the over the video like an overlay. Personally, I think Bigfoot is real. I don't think Bigfoot has anything to do with UFOs. I don't think Bigfoot is interdimensional or any of that other hocus pocus stuff. I think it's just an animal. That's what I think. And maybe it doesn't exist, but the evidence seems to point to some kind of primate. Todd Standing from Sylvanic. He's been accused of being a hoaxer, and I read some of the. Oh, I see. Okay, that's pretty interesting. It's a project to enable comment visibility on YouTube. That's funny. Todd's been accused of being a hoaxer. But the accusations don't seem to be that, they don't seem to hold much weight. Wait a second, the comments disappear. Oh, Mike says on the iPad he has to hit the comment button in the upper right. Okay, I say I'm on Android, that's a pull-up. And Ken said he's back. He said his work called on his day off. Ken, whenever they want you to come in on your day off, just do what my brother-in-law did. My brother-in-law worked for Bell South, and then he worked for AT&T, and they would call him up, and he would say, "Yeah, I'll come in. I've been drinking. It's my day off, but I'll come in." And they're like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I've been drinking, but I'll be happy to come in." They go, "No, don't bother. That's okay. No thanks." And they call somebody else. So, if you're like me and you don't like to tell a lie, what you do on your day off is you pour a shot of whiskey and you put it next to the phone. Yeah, exactly. Did yesterday. A manager called in and said, "Wow, put a shot of whiskey next to the phone, so when they call and it's work, then you can go, 'Well, I've been drinking.' It's not a lie. Faithful in little, faithful in large. You know how it goes." Anyway, that's just one of my techniques. So Todd Standing has been accused of being a hoaxer, but I don't think he is. I think he's a little overzealous and a little enthusiastic, but that's okay. Matthew says he's 45 minutes away from a hot Bigfoot sighting area. Now, Matthew, have you ever seen Bigfoot? Because I might have to interview you over the phone. Yeah, Henry says his work involves driving, so if he's had a few beers, they can't order him into work. That's funny. Wow. Do you know anyone or have heard of anyone in your area that's had a Bigfoot sighting? Now, Todd claims to be able to take people to a certain area and guarantee an interaction with them, with Bigfoot. And he has 2 PhD scientists that he's taken out. And supposedly, he's got a new video. Now it's on iTunes, and you can get it on his website, Sylvanic. That's SYLVANIC.com. Matthew says, not yet. I think about doing a trip there. And he said he knows of a guy, but what did you say? He's not might not be sober? Is that what you said? Whoops, sorry. I know a guy, I'm not sure if he was sober. Okay, I understand. It's important. Those details are important. But Todd's new video apparently is available by a donation, so I may just do that. One of his accusers was saying that he has a production company. Well, nothing wrong with that. And his accuser was saying that he uses an alias in the production company. Well, that's not really a bad idea. Matthew says, yeah, he drinks a lot, so the story could be BS. It could be. Could be. Although sometimes liquor is a truth serum, you know what I mean? Yeah, it is pretty healthy, so yes. Everything that I've heard is that the Bigfoot is friendly, except sometimes they throw rocks or they throw feces because they don't want you to be there. But I did read that in the video that Todd is selling, you know, on iTunes or excuse me, Matthew said he's looking at getting a drone to fly in that area. That is cool. In that video, he claims that the end of it, there was a violent confrontation with Bigfoot. And Henry, you're absolutely right, because any primate is stronger than any human being. It's, you know, chimpanzees can rip your arm off, and they're mean. They bite fingers and stuff like that. You know, in combat when they're threatened. But yeah, so let's hope that, you know, if Bigfoot's real, it's a really gentle giant. Todd was saying that one of the things that they do is they pull his blonde hair out. And he said that one of the primate experts that he talks to that works with orangs said that that's what the orangs do. They pull the blonde hair out of the lady because they like the way it looks. Look at the lady who got her face torn off. I didn't hear about that. Was that a bear? Or was that another primate? Well, I didn't hear about that, Henry. Oh, from an adult chimp. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, adult chimps can be pretty darn dangerous. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, for you to get around them, they have to be very tame. They have to be around humans for a long time. So, you know, Bigfoot could wreak havoc. There isn't a person alive that a Bigfoot couldn't easily kill barehanded. You know. So Todd and his sister, who are in the oh yeah, I know. Todd and his sister, who's evidently a partner with him in the production company, they both use aliases. And you know, that's not a bad idea. That's not that you're trying to hide, but people want to protect their privacy. So yeah, I know. I think it finally stopped buffering too. I did not see that. But if oh, I see. Henry says that's why Michael Jackson replaced Bubbles a few times, so that's interesting. Matthew, I did not watch the video of Les Stroud, but if you find the video, please post the link in the late night group, okay? I'd like to see it. I'm sure everybody else would too. Anyway, I'm just saying that Todd has a couple of detractors, and they claim that he's a trickster or a hoaxer, but I can't really understand exactly what they're accusing him of. They don't like his pictures, but okay, whatever. I think the guy's seen something. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Matthew. I think the guy has run across something. I think he's taken people in the woods has run across something. And clearly in the Survivor Man video, there's a Bigfoot in the background, or something that looks like a Bigfoot. It's not a bear, but it's, you know, it looks like it's humanoid shape, dark fur. So he's definitely seen something, run across something. So what he said he was going to do in his recent preview was that he was going to sue the Fish and Wildlife departments of Canada and the United States. In 2006, he tried unsuccessfully to get these, in North America, these agencies to recognize Bigfoot as a species. There are a couple of states and a couple of cities and towns. Yeah, I hope you can run the DNA test on the fur you found too. Some states and some cities and counties actually have statutes that prevent you, prohibiting shooting anything that could be called Bigfoot, which I think is a good idea. I read one report where somebody brought some DNA to a lab, and the lab threw the sample away because they tested it, and they said it has been contaminated by human DNA because it was so close to human DNA. They determined that the sample had been, instead of just delivering the answer, doing what they were paid to do and told to do, just report on what it is, they looked at the sample and it was so close to being human that they threw it away. They said it's got to be contaminated by human DNA. So that's the problem. You got to get a lab that's on board. These days, you can't tell the lab, oh, I think I got Bigfoot skin or something like that. Yeah, they thought it was tainted. Yeah, you can't tell the lab, oh, I think this is Bigfoot hair. Tell them you think it's brown bear, but you want to make sure. Tell them something. Tell them you don't know what it is. There's an animal on your property that keeps breaking in your chicken coop or something. I mean, you don't know what it is, so you can just tell them, I have no idea what this is. But I wouldn't tell them you think it's Bigfoot. There are people who are just afraid, to be associated with any kind of controversy. And that's just the way it is in this life. Even though it might be true, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of truths out there that people won't get behind because they just don't want the controversy. There's a lot of those. Especially in cryptozoology and in religion. There's a lot of truths that people just don't want to get behind. I don't know. Anyway, so what do you guys think? We should take a poll. Who thinks Bigfoot is real or not? You can just say yes or no. Who thinks that or there's a possibility that Bigfoot is real? Could I get a yes? And if you don't think there's a possibility that Bigfoot is real, could I get a no? Oh, I see. Oh, that's interesting, Henry. Henry says that that it never buffers for him. So Mike Rundgren and Matthew both say yes, and Kenneth says possibility. Religion has a lot to do with people deciding. That's right. That's right. Because one thing I read when I was a kid, I was really into UFOs, right? And I read a lot of books where people would have these UFO experiences, but they would see like Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus because that's what they believed in. You know what I'm saying? Whenever they were confronted with some kind of a strange phenomenon, that they would see kind of what they were, what they're brought up to believe, which is totally normal. So Mike says yes, Matthew says yes, Ken says possibly. Yeah, that's all I want to know. Do you think it's possible? I don't think it's impossible. So Henry, Henry says, why not? Bigfoot can be a remnant from older times. I say yes, and that's true, because remember the coelacanth that was discovered in the 30s off of the coast of Africa? It was a fish that supposedly was 50 million years extinct, and nowadays people know where to find them. Yeah, so I love the theatrics either way. I hear you, Mike. Henry sometimes my app here says reconnecting, you know, and when that's spinning and reconnecting, then I know it's buffering. You can't possibly not have it buffer when it does that. I just got a little bar across the top. The app's pretty cool. I get a red bar across the top, which lets me know I've got kind of a danger signal. And then it'll actually say very poor bandwidth. That's kind of like the next level, the next alert. And then it'll just give me the endless circle. I guess it's that way for you guys. And it just says reconnecting, reconnecting. What I usually do is I kill the app. I restart it, restart the live stream, and it asks me if I want to resume where I left off, and I say yes, and then it starts working. So I don't know what to tell you. Oh, there's a second load coming in here, so good. Excellent. It says I got low battery, but I'm on a, wow, I'm on a battery bank. I don't get it. Yeah, I'm on a battery bank. How can I be on a how can I be low battery? This is weird. I have my battery bank plugged in, and it's plugged into the 2.1 amp. Yep. Yeah. Henry says, when we had the Ice Age people around, then needed fur to survive. Perhaps not everyone evolved the way most did. Yeah. True. Or I guess you could say adapted, you know, whatever phrase you want to say, but yeah. Hey, it's our friend Win-Win. Guys, say hi to Win-Win.
Say hi to Win-Win.
Yeah, say hi to Win-Win.
Say hi to Michael.
Say hi to Michael, yeah. Then what I noticed was, I never did it. I got to talk to Win-Win about it, but Ken, as far as the Streamlabs update goes, what changed was the way you can edit the widgets. You can stretch them out or change the shape, the size of the box, and the placement of the box. And instead of just like a choice of lower left, lower right, upper left, upper right, center, you can actually move it where you want custom, and you can stretch it or shrink it down. So that's the main thing that I noticed. But I just did a test a few seconds ago, and I think a few minutes ago, I think with Streamlabs you need a really strong internet connection to be able to use it. I keep getting this low battery. Henry, I didn't see it. I didn't see it burn, and I have it set. There are two check boxes. One is to check for preview, and the other is to check for burn to stream. The first time I used Streamlabs, Dr. D subscribed to my channel, and it burned a notification to the stream. I saw it. I looked at it later. It's still online if you want to see it. And I never saw the notification here because I didn't have the preview checked. Now on the chat box, I have both checked, and I did a test and I did not see it burn to the stream, so I don't know what to tell you. But evidently my internet connection out here in the field is not good enough. I got to get a really screaming fast connection. Yeah, I wonder why too, because it's supposed to. And the other stuff burns to the stream. The notifications. I haven't used the donation box or like the donation ticker or that stuff, but I did use the what am I trying to say? Notifications box. When some new event happens, I guess they call it an event box. When somebody subscribes to my channel, it'll do a ding dong and anyway, it says new subscriber, it says their name and stuff, and it's all configurable on the website, which is pretty cool. And you can use it in OBS. You can put all this stuff in OBS. But as far as I can see, well, it's still in beta. As far as I've been able to see, it does not burn the comments to the stream on the mobile app. So my final notes on the camping trip. My final notes were my back went out. Sunday afternoon, early afternoon, I'm trying to pack up and leave, and my back went out, and man, it was really, really tough. I had a tough time. But fortunately, my wife's sister and all the friends and everything helped us and helped me pack stuff up and put it in the van, which is nice. Then the ride home, sitting upright in good posture. Thank you. Sitting upright, good posture, and the caddy has decent seats with bolsters on it, and I actually, by the time I got home, I felt a lot better. I was okay. But truth be told, I still have 2 or 3 heavy things in the van I haven't taken out yet. I'm going to take them out probably tomorrow. But I did use my shortwave radio a couple hours after I did the cooking thing, and I threw the long wire antenna up, clipped it to a tree. It's 7 meters long, and I reeled it out and sat in my lounge chair with my headset on, pointing to the radio, and I heard some really cool stuff. It was really cool. Being away from the city, you need to have some kind of a long wire antenna. But I was able to. There was a Morse code contest going on. I was able to copy a lot of the Morse code from the different stations around the world. That was a lot of fun. I haven't done that for a while. Problem with languages is that if you don't use them, you lose them. It's really true. Like, I really cannot speak Russian anymore. I mean, a couple of words, I can read a couple of things. Sometimes Russian, viewers will type 1 or 2 things. I might be able to read a little bit, but not very much. And the problem with Morse code is, I've learned Morse code to the level where I'll never forget it, but let me tell you, you can get rusty. And I heard some guys, blasting out like 55 words a minute, and I couldn't do it, so. Yeah, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. No, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, and Taiwan is a great place for camping. It's a little bit spoon-fed. My battery is actually going down, and I don't know why. This app is eating it alive. I've got my battery bank on, Yeah. Amplifiers for phones. It's a good question. It shows that I've got the lightning bolt on the battery, and I just recycled the battery bank, and I instantly got a low battery. But no, it's the YouTube app. It's eating it up. I've never had this happen before. The battery bank has always been able to keep up with it. I don't know what's going on. Amplifiers. Okay, Henry, can you send something to me? Yeah, can you send me a link or something so I know what you're talking about? Gosh, I hate to shut down. Yeah, it is weird. I hate to shut down because of lack of battery, just to come on later. That would be kind of silly. But it's nice and cool here. Thank you, Henry. It's nice and cool here. And when the weather's cool, the bands are quieter. It just seems to be a fact that, over 30 years of me listening to the bands. And so now it's nice and cool, and I've got that V. So, will fluorescent lights charge a solar panel? The answer is, if the fluorescent lights put out the appropriate bandwidth of light, yes. Yes, it's going down steadily. Big Brother trying to keep you quiet, yeah. It's going steadily down. It's slowly, because it was like 15% a little while ago, and now it was 10%. Now it's 8%. I read something today that really is astonishing. A company has come out with a completely clear solar panel because it charges using invisible light. That's light outside the visible spectrum. So they did an estimation of how many square meters of windows there are, like in the United States. I don't know how they did that. But if you were to replace all the normal windows with an actual, where it makes sense to do so, with an actual solar panel, you could power the entire world without fossil fuels. That is cool. That's significant. A clear solar panel. That means you can have a skylight in your house, and it's a solar panel. Because solar panels, people don't like them because they're like this big black rectangle. It's like having the 2001 Space Odyssey monolith on your roof. Yes, it is cool, isn't it? Now get this. That also means you can make the screen of your smartphone a solar panel that charges the phone if you're out in the sun. That is cool. That is really cool. But it has to be invisible, the invisible rays from the sun, which doesn't mean you couldn't fake that with an LED. So there isn't any reason why. Wow, temperature went down to 49 degrees. It was 80 degrees for the high today. Ken says, of course, that's Fahrenheit. Wow, holy cow, it's a big range. Let's just say that you made, that a light source was made for the inside of the house. And the light source produced those invisible rays that charge the solar panels, as well as the visible light that you need to, see. It's kind of like a way to sort of recycle some of the power. You see what I'm saying? Because there are regenerative systems that try to get power back, like a regenerative braking on an electric car. So even though you're expending energy, some of the energy you can reclaim. It's never going to be 100% efficient, but it is a way to reduce the amount of energy lost. So getting close to freezing temps here. Yeah, we have nowhere near there, Matthew, but. You see everybody around here is I got my short sleeves on. They're walking around with jackets and stuff. I got a Bali shirt on today. Let me check. I'm down to 9%. Okay, well that's not too bad. Not too bad. Let me think about this. You think Kim drove right by where you're working away to DC? She might have. She might have, because she's in West Virginia. Henry says we're getting snow this week. Northern Sweden are knee deep in it already. Wow, holy cow. Yep. Well, where I used to live in New Hampshire, we really wouldn't get, the big snow until like the first week in December. So it's coming, but it's like waist high. I did drop this battery pack. I dropped it right on the floor. It functions correctly as far as the LEDs and the charging and everything. It looks like it's functioning correctly, but it might not be. I have another battery pack. I've got that N9 light that Caspar got. Matthew says he's 45 minutes away from Wheeling. Oh, that's cool. She probably did go right by there. It's too bad. Too bad, you guys didn't, what you should start doing on the late night group is letting everybody know where we're going, and then if somebody wants to hook up and say hi, you could do that, if you're getting close to the area, which is what I'm going to do when I go back to the States. I'm going to let everybody know where I am so we can have some eyeballs, have some meetups. That'd be cool. I've got another battery bank. It's the N9 LED light with a 20,000 milliamp hour battery bank. I'm going to try charging with that and see. So, yep, possibly a few cells broke or got discharged, although it almost doesn't stand to reason, because charging the battery bank, it's normal. So I've got a lantern that my wife and I just bought like 6 months ago, and I tried charging it and it doesn't work. It's all messed up. And so I took it apart and found some dead cells because it was acting weird. Mike says it's stunning the amount of change we are seeing in the energy sector. I want to see the meetups too. Okay, cool. Yeah. That'd be cool. Well, when I get back to the States, I got some stuff planned for 2018, and we'll see if we can do it. It's just a matter of timing and financing. Okay. Ken says, sorry, hit send by accident. They have a charger you can lay your phone on, and it charges the phone. Yeah, it's wireless charging, yeah. I've got a right angle cable right now. The cable's, it's a right angle cable like this. It's just stuck in the end of the Galaxy, and it's going down to the battery charger, or to the battery bank. Yeah, I mean, you could use a wireless charger on your gimbal if you put it in the back plate of the gimbal. That'd be cool. I don't know what to tell you. It's back up to 10%, so it's not going down anymore now. I don't know why. I have done scopes on Periscope where I had very low battery power, but by the time I got done with the scope, it was charged again. Now, Henry says he's got a 20,000 power bank, it takes 5 hours to charge, but 8 to 10 refills on my phone before it's depleted. These, you see me doing this, right? Okay, there his phone died. No, it didn't die. It didn't die. It was a reconnect. It's buffering again. Yes, but we're okay. We're back. Because I quit the app and I restarted it, so. Is battery replacement on wireless devices feasible? I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean eliminating a battery and feeding power to them wirelessly, completely? Is that what you mean? Because according to Nikola Tesla, the answer to that question is yes, because he had a way to beam power. And we do too today. We can beam power to things. It's just not that efficient yet. There are ways that you can beam electrical power to a device to power it up. I mean, that's the principle behind RFID. The RFID chip sits there inert until you scan it with an RFID reader, and the radio waves from the reader hit the antenna, create a voltage which powers the device to answer the query. That's how that works. So yeah, it's just not quite as efficient. And with all the radio and the antennas going on, I mean, you know, between NFC, Bluetooth, and, you know, oh, can you replace the battery in an iPad cost effective? I think so. I know what you're saying. Okay, I know what you're saying now. I think so, because I had my Galaxy S4 for a long time. I kept it for a long time because it was a really good phone. And I noticed it just wouldn't hold a charge. So I went to the store. Of course, that phone has a removable back, and you can replace the you can replace the battery yourself. And for me, yeah, the battery was cheap. I bought a original Samsung, you know, OEM, and man, it's like I had a new phone. Yeah, you know, for the phones like we have now with the non-user replaceable batteries, it still can be very cost effective. Because let's face it, phones today, they're glued together. Yeah. Well, there has to be a way to get them open to fix them. Phones nowadays, and let's face it, phones and tablets nowadays are very, very capable devices. And people aren't replacing them as often as they used to. And that's kind of a problem, because you see like Samsung and some of the other companies, the international sales around the world has slowed down because not everybody's buying new phones. Like I've got the Galaxy S7 Edge. I'm keeping it. I bought it in April of 2016. I'm not getting a new one. I might get a new one in 2018, or I might not. It's a pretty darn good phone. I don't really need to replace it. See, I replaced my Galaxy S4 when it got too slow. Hey, Rob, how you doing? When it got too slow to run the new apps that were coming out. That's when I replaced it. And I think that's what most people do. So I think you've got at least a 2.5 year operational life out of a phone, probably, depending on what you do. And if you don't do a whole lot, if you don't, you know, if you're not using these cutting edge apps, you're just using like Google Maps and calendar and stuff, you might be able to keep your phone for 3 or 4 years. My wife kept her original Galaxy S. We bought it in 2011, and she replaced it last year. She kept that phone for 5 years because it met her needs. And so, yeah, I mean, if you've got a situation like that and you want to get a replacement battery, go for it. How you doing, Rob? Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, if I started noticing that this phone was not holding a charge, speaking of which, we're up to 12%. If it wasn't holding a charge, that's the first thing I would do. I'd put it in a shop and tell them to replace the battery. And I'd tell them to replace it with an original equipment, the OEM. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. With batteries makes a difference. And one of the things, sure, one of the things that that reinforced that for me was, because I've been shooting Nikon, you know, Nikon cameras since 2006, no, since 2002. And one of my cameras that I got in 2006, I got some replacement batteries, and the guy assured me that there was an equivalent Japanese company, and they made a nice battery. But so I bought them. I bought 2 replacement Nikon batteries. So I had the one original Nikon battery that came with the camera and 2 Japanese replacements. And at first, like the first year, the other batteries were great, and then I noticed they started falling off and falling off and falling off. I would charge them, and they would last for 30 minutes, and they were done. I was like, man, this is crazy. And the other Nikon, the original Nikon battery, which was older than all of them, was still going strong. So for me personally, when it comes to batteries, I got to go with the OEM, original equipment manufacturer. I got to go with that. And even then, it might not. I mean, look at the Galaxy S. I mean, look at the Galaxy Note 7. You know. So my wife was asking me about this lantern I was telling you that I found some dead cells. My wife was asking me, well, you know, why the batteries go bad so fast? And I said, well, look at what happened with Samsung, world-class, multi-billion-dollar company. They specified a phone, and through all their QC procedures, some of these batteries failed. So anyway, what can I say? So I have a 6-volt battery pack made by Coleman that plugs into the bottom of my lantern. It's an interchangeable battery pack, and it's a 6-volt battery pack, and it puts out about 3.5 volts. No good. So I got 2 choices. I can take it back to the company, the store that I bought it from, and try to convince them to replace it, and maybe bring my volt ohm meter and show them. Or I can take it apart, because I have the Torx, fastener wrenches to take it apart, and just troubleshoot and fix it myself, which I probably will end up doing, because it's not that difficult. Actually, most consumer products have standard size batteries in them. Like if you've got an electric shaver and it starts not holding a charge and you open it up, it's probably got AAA batteries in it. It's probably got 2 or 3 AAA batteries that you just take out, recycle them, and put in rechargeables. And that's usually what it is. I found that to be the case more times than not. Even some really big battery packs, I've taken them apart, and it's been nothing more than like AA batteries just ganged together. And if you got the AA batteries, or you could just go buy like the Li-ion batteries to replace them, then you're golden. Otherwise, it costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to replace that, that factory module. Hey, we're up to 13%. Anyway, thanks, Mike. That was my answer. Thank you. No, I haven't, but I would very, very much like to see that. I'd very much like to see that. So as I was talking earlier tonight about the expat from the UK, if you guys haven't seen him, what I'll do is when I go back home later tonight, I will post a link in the late night group so you guys can see. I'm still hungry. You ever get in that situation? I don't like to overeat. And I feel like I've had enough to eat, but I just feel like something else, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I should get my eggs or the egg rolls. Yeah, Henry says get some eggs. This new latency is great. You guys can respond so quick now. Just a few seconds. Get some eggs or yeah. You want to stay here? Yeah, dessert is eggs. You want to stay here, or you want to go back in the kitchen? Some pork? Yeah, I could get the what we call the paigu. I could get those pork ribs. You seen those? The kind of random chops of deep fried pork. You know what I'm talking about? I could get that. You guys want to get that? You'll see me like sucking on the bone and making all kinds of noises and stuff. But if you don't mind that, we can do that. So yeah, my Wi-Fi box is right there. I think it'll propagate back there enough. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to hand hold this. I'll take you back here to the kitchen. Let me know if we lose it. We're still good. Okay, Rob, we can share. Hey, now. All right, I'm going to ask the chef here. We still got a signal? Hey, Neil.
啊，你好。
Neil, 排骨吗？排骨？
啊？
炸的排骨？
有啊。
我要一
你要一份
份。
吗？
好，
要回家还是这边吃？
这边是，谢谢。Okay. Losing a little. Okay, we went back. Okay, we're back. We're back where we were. So okay. Well, that's the one thing about YouTube is it will try to maintain the signal, and apparently it does change the resolution. Apparently, it does scale it down. So that's cool. Okay. So there you go. Did you guys see the kitchen? Yeah, this is a cool place. Well, if you guys want to come visit, you know, you too can sit here and be on late night. You know JL. Everybody knows JL from Switzerland, right? JL and another gentleman who I've not met. I think it's Mike from LA, but don't quote. I think it's Mike from LA. They're coming here. She said no kitchen, kitchen closed. What she asked me was, did I want to eat it here or take it home? Now across the street, there's a bunch of guys across the street all lined up to come here. It actually looks a little bit menacing, but I know they're not. I know they're not up to no good. They're just customers. So they sent the first guy in to do the reconnoiter. So there's the second guy. She does not. She's actually really protective of the cards. She has them in an envelope, all in one envelope all together. But yeah, I think what's going to happen, or have to happen, is I think I personally am going to have to come up with the. Oh, my leg's going to sleep. I think I'm personally going to have to do that. Have to come up with a way to display them and do that. So there's no set time when they close. That's right. Henry's asking if there's no set time if they have customers. That's right. I have seen them open to 4 o'clock in the morning or later. You guys remember when John Ho and Jevons were here with me back in Periscope? This is last year, and we were over next door. We were here to 4 o'clock in the morning. There's no problem. Boy, my wife yelled at me like crazy when I got home. But seriously, because we were, you know, we were here, and she's making money. So there you go. Yep, that was it. My wife sent me a text message. Where's my daughter's father at 4 a.m.? Can we get a divorce? So I went home and I go, yeah, of course we can, but not over that. So you could have called. Yeah, I know. Well, I told, listen, it's literally a block away, okay? And I told her where I was. I always do. I tell her where I was. I tell her I'm going out. Where are you going? I'm going down to Win-Win's place. And she knew, and she's met John Ho, and she knows John Ho is okay. And they, you know, they've talked before. And so me and John Ho and my wife have been out to lunch and stuff. And she's met Jevons, so yeah, she knows where I was, yeah. And she's met Jevons, and she knows Jevons is okay, so she knew that we weren't like, and you guys saw on Periscope that we weren't cavorting. The only woman that was in there with us was the boss lady, Win-Win. And you guys remember that scope, all she was doing was trying to play with Facebook the whole time. She wasn't even paying attention to what we were doing. Ah, my leg's going to sleep. She was trying to figure out a way to hook up Periscope with Facebook. And that was in the days before Facebook Live got really popular, because she could have gone live on Facebook and then it would have solved no problem, but oh well. So I'm pretty sure with Facebook that anybody can go live on Facebook now. I don't think you have to have like 100 followers like you do on YouTube to use the YouTube app and stuff. So we got the paigu coming. That's the deep fried pork ribs. I'm just gonna put my leg down this way. and let it kind of. Oh. See, here's the problem. Let me show you this. Let me show you this, you guys. You'll like this. These are the seats. You see the stools? Oh, not everyone can do Facebook Live? Okay. Thanks, Henry. These are the stools. They're miniature stools. This is a table. I'm sitting at this really, really low table, see? And these miniature stools. There you go. Matthew, I have because I learned. Yeah, I know. It does block circulation. You're right, Henry. Because I learned that Facebook was started with CIA seed money. They really are. Because there was a government initiative to get people to volunteer all the information about them for dossiers. So there you go. About a year and a half ago, I started a Facebook page called Taiwan Live, and I tried to make it work. I tried doing Facebook Live. Yeah, they should. I know. I tried doing Facebook Live. Hey, anyhow. But it didn't work for me, and I just gave up on it. I really don't like the Facebook infrastructure. I don't call it Facebook. I call it invasebook because it is invasive. It's extremely invasive into your life. And the problem with that particular kind of social media is all of a sudden you've got posts on your timeline from people that you don't even know because they're friends of your friends. And they might have different values. They might not believe in the same things that you believe. They might not appreciate the same things that you appreciate, or more importantly, find abhorrent the things that you find abhorrent, if you know what I'm saying. You find people with completely different standards all of a sudden show up on your Facebook, and then people use that as a way to judge the kind of person that you are. And it's like, this is weird. This is really weird. It's a little too, in my opinion, a little too interconnected. So that's it. Yeah, no kidding. They do know where you're going before you go. Let's see. Matthew says, makes sense. He said, I was wondering about Twitter. I think they might be keeping people from speaking. Jeff Goldberg. Absolutely they are. They are censoring people. They are censoring people, definitely. Now, I just want to read this because Henry said something very important. It says, Facebook has a very powerful algorithm. They know where you're going on the internet before you do. Yes. I don't like them. Now, you guys want to use them, it's okay with me. And I'm not going to, try to dissuade you. But for me, it's just too invasive. And Facebook is what I call it. People say, are you on Facebook? No, I'm not on Facebook. And they start laughing. But it's really true. My sisters use it, my wife uses it. She's on Facebook every single day. And on the Taiwan Live one, the Taiwan Live page that I have, my wife is my only friend. And I get friend requests, and I deny every one of them. I just don't want to do it. And I tell people, that people that I know, I tell them personally, I'll tell them on Twitter or email or something, don't take it personal, but I just don't want to add a bunch of friends here. That's just not what I want to do. So, all right, we are up to 14%, so I'm not getting any more low battery indications. So the battery bank is catching up. So, yeah. Matthew says, my wife seems to be obsessed with Facebook. I can understand that. Well, it's actually, Facebook is work. Yeah, it is work, a lot of work. That's funny you mention that, because back in like 2013, I remember I would wake up in the morning, I'd go to my computer, and I would spend 3 hours catching up with everything with people that I haven't seen for 20 years. And there's a reason I haven't seen them for 20 years. They're not in my life anymore. And I started reasoning to myself. I said, do I really care what these people think is cool on YouTube? No, I don't. I don't see them anymore. I don't hang out with them anymore. seriously, most of your friends you can count on one hand. The friends that you see regularly, that you hang out with in real life, you know, and you just don't need that. I'm talking strictly of my own opinion, you know, for me. And for you, it's a different story, and you make your own judgment. But for me, I just don't think you need that much interconnectivity. I don't think it, to me, it didn't contribute to a quality of life. I look at my watch and go, holy cow, it's lunchtime. What did I do this morning? I didn't do anything. Now, Henry says something I got to read here. He says he has a Facebook account, but only because it was mandatory to get Spotify when I got it. And he said, but it's totally closed in and out, and I don't use it. Now, I think that's wrong. I think it's absolutely wrong that Spotify required you to have a Facebook account. And I would have taken them to task on that. Anyway, it should be, if you want to use Facebook for login credentials, that's okay, but also offer Google, also offer Twitter, and offer VK, you know, for the Russians. I mean, seriously. The one thing I can't stand, and I'm going to say this, I cannot stand these companies that use Facebook for customer interaction. My wife called the Ziyun company, the guys, Henry says, yeah, Google would have accepted. The Ziyun company, the company that makes my gimbals, right? And we're talking about the batteries. I was asking about the extension tube to use the longer battery in it and stuff. And the lady on the phone, she has my wife on the telephone. She says, well, just, you know, put your request on Facebook. And my wife's like, why should I put it on Facebook? I'm talking to you on the damn phone. What do you mean? Yeah, because we do all our customer service on Facebook. And she says, well, my husband doesn't use Facebook. And it's like, you know, stunned silence on the other end of the phone. Mike says, question, when other sites require Facebook sign-in, what info are they getting from us? I believe the answer to that question is every single thing that you posted on Facebook, but I might be wrong. Most of the time they tell you they have access to your timeline and have access to your personal info, you know, your bio and stuff, maybe photographs, who knows. But yeah, I mean, the safe thing to do is to assume that they've got access to everything. That's the safe thing. Anyway, I forget what this is. Oh yeah, I forgot. You guys want to go to a dance party? Here we go. It is sad news. This is the dance party. All we need is the music. What do you think? Is this good or what? I like it. Henry makes a really, really good point. I'm going to go to Bubbles. He says, our bosses look at our social media too. I got nothing to hide, but we're not friends or so I try to minimize my digital footprint. Whoa, yeah, I got to tell you, it's a good thing that me personally, I'm not looking for a job, because there's a lot of stuff. I mean, a potential employer will be looking at you know, all my live streams and everything, and it's just, you know, the whole thing is they don't like what you're, you know, what you're talking about. You know, I can just hear some potential boss saying, oh, he believes in Bigfoot, right? All right, let me show you this. I'm going to go in the back camera and I'm going to show you this plate, okay? Tiny Bubbles, yeah, by Don Ho. This is succulent pieces of deep fried pork on the bone. It's a little hard to eat, but you guys see this? The R effects only, yep. Yeah, when you apply to a job now, they want links to social media, and sometimes when you land at the airport, especially if you're an expat and you live overseas, they want links to your social media too. So you know what? I've got a dummy phone. I've got an iPhone 5S that's only linked to YouTube. So I'm just going to sign out and give it to them, let them play with it. There's no, you know, sign out of everything. Because here's the thing. In the U.S., They will give you a piece of paper that specifically says, we have the right to ask you for your social media passwords, for your mobile phone passwords, right? And a phone number, yeah. But what they don't tell you on the paper is that you're not required to give it to them. And so you just be polite. Never swear, never get upset. Just say, I'm aware of my rights, and I politely decline to comply with that. May I go? And everything you say, may I go at the end of it. Now this is a nice piece. Screaming hot. Excuse me, gotta get some tissue. Now, Rob Braxman on Periscope is always talking about Zuckerberg and Facebook. You're going to learn more about what they actually do from him than you will from me. Because I just have suspicions. But so when I go back to the States, I haven't been back in 7 years. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to run me through the ringer or what. Because sometimes the immigration officials don't like people who live overseas. Yeah, Henry says, yeah, there were some that refused to give out their passwords and they wanted Apple to hack their encrypted phones, which they didn't do. Good for Apple. That's a good idea. I know a Taiwanese citizen who used to be an American citizen, and they gave up his citizenship almost 30 years ago. His name is T.C. Lin. T.C. Lin, L-I-N. He has a Wikipedia page. You should look it up. It's pretty cool. He's a friend of mine. And T.C. went to the States to visit, and they looked at his Taiwan passport, and it said city of birth or place of birth, and it showed a place in the United States. And then they started asking him questions, because when you enter the United States, if you are a U.S. citizen, you must use a U.S. passport. So they said, well, if you're born in the United States, you're a U.S. citizen, why are you using a foreign passport? And he said, well, I gave up my U.S. citizenship. And from that point out, he said they hassled him for an hour. They detained him. I guess they were hoping he would miss his flight. I asked them, what do they say? And they said, aren't the products and services in the United States good enough for you? Stuff like that. So asinine. I know another U.S. citizen that gave up his citizenship and became a Taiwanese citizen. And he said, some guy asked him, why do you do it? And he said, well, there's an old saying, America, love it or leave it. I didn't love it, so I left it. Now Henry says, but now with the new iPhone X, they have face recognition only, so now you have to be unconscious. So now you can be unconscious and they can still unlock it. Yeah, I don't go along with that at all. Mike says, when you return to the U.S., we will embrace you, MJ. Thank you. Might have to call you to bail me out. No, I'm just kidding. See, the one good thing about me is I have no criminal history. I've never been arrested, never been in jail. So they can have all the suspicions they want, but you know the actual record just isn't there. And here we go. Two more. Hey Bernardo, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. Two more Vietnam girls coming in. These are all for those customers that came in. These are all for those customers that came in a few minutes ago. All right. Now, here's another big piece. It's got a bone on it. Actually, the gristle is good. If you can stand eating gristle, it's a good building block. You know, if you got like joint pain, chicken cartilage in that too. Really good. Bernardo, how you doing, man? I got a question. Bernardo, do you still have any old monk? If you do, I want to buy it from you. But seriously, if you got any old monk, how is it? You still drinking it? My friend Ashish up in Taipei told me he has another bottle. His father visited recently and brought him some. He always gets old monk for me. This is great. Old monk is empty. That's a good sign. It's a sign you like it. Now, as far as I know, the only person in the States in our group that has tried the old monk is Coco. Mike is asking me, do I know anything about Chinese embroideries? No. But if you can give me some examples of what you're looking for, I will do some research on it. I can find, you know, quite a few things I can find here. I can get Jackson to help me. Jackson, you guys probably recall, is my assistant. I can get Jackson to help me. Well, we're up to 15%. Okay, good. Chinese embroideries. You mean like pictures that are already done by needlepoint? Is that what you mean? All right, got a couple more just showed up. Check that out. 2 more. All those guys that went upstairs, they all order girls. Like I have 3 bottles of Taiwan beer, a couple orders of fried rice, and 5 girls. That's what they do. It's quite amazing. Now we're on too late for Jaspy to be with us, so we'll have to come on early if we can tomorrow for Jaspy to show up with us. And if you guys haven't heard, silk needlepoint was huge art years ago. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. If you have any links, you know, to examples, I'd like to see. Coco's father-in-law, her husband's father, passed away, and so we all want to offer her our condolences. If you haven't already in the late night group, we haven't seen Coco live tonight, so she's probably tied up. But they are looking at another new house, which is cool. I think in the same area. All right.
Hello.
That second girl has some disgusting tattoos on her legs. All right, look, I'm going to say it. I like to give my opinion, but I don't force my opinion on anybody else, and I don't expect anybody else to agree with me. But I got to tell you, I do not like tattoos on women. I don't. And I'll tell you why. Because I believe that the female body does not require modifications to look more beautiful. I believe that modifications detract. Mike says tall girls in Taiwan. Yeah, these are Vietnam girls though, but there are some tall girls. I saw a really tall girl today. I saw 2 actually today. But these girls that are coming here are Vietnamese. The Taiwanese girls that do karaoke stuff are more and more rare. Taiwanese girls just got too much money. You know, they're too far up the ladder. They don't need the cash. These girls don't make that much money. They make like 1,000 NT an hour, which is like $30 an hour. You know, so Mike says, me too about the tattoos. That's just me. It's just me. So, to each his own. And I certainly don't devalue women, you know, who have tattoos. But as she was walking by, I wasn't really paying attention. But as she walked by, I saw 2 tattoos on her legs, and I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing? Anyway. My wife has no tattoos. I found out tattoos scare my kid. If Phoenix sees tattoos on somebody, she gets really scared. Which is interesting because I've never said anything to her about tattoos. She'll just ask me, Papa, what's that, the marking? And she knows what tattoos are now because she asked, but it wasn't like she's a little kid and I drilled it in her head. She just came up with that on her own. What do you say we shut down? Because for one thing, it's been an hour and 20 minutes. And I don't want to scare anybody away from the replay by looking at it and saying, I don't got no hour and 20 minutes to sit and listen to MJ yet. But it's been a pleasure having you guys with us. And I'm going to finish eating this pie goop, head back to the house, take a shower. So an artwork that seems hard to change. Yes, that's true. Henry says, well, maybe I'm not so far off. Henry says, I don't think women need to be modified with ink either. I have coworkers who are covered in them. Yes, I do too. And I just wonder what's going on in their head that they think they have to do that. Maybe it's because they're looking to be an individual, or something, to make them an individualist that's different than others. But I don't know. When I was on the road, I got to tell you, I mean, I'm an old guy. I'm 61. Sure, thank you, Rob. I'm an old guy. When I was on the road playing music, when I was on the road in my 20s, thank you, Mike. I appreciate your support. The only ladies that had, I know, Henry says it's in fashion now, it comes to go, but back in those days, the only ladies that had tattoos were professional ladies, professional topless dancers, professional erotic dancers. Those are the only ones. So Ken says, ha ha, have a great night, see you next time. Thanks, Ken. You guys take care, and I'll probably be on tomorrow night because it's Thursday. I usually like to stream on Thursday night. If I find anything on the radio interesting, I might do that. I'm trying to find that, and I still owe you guys a thanks, Bernardo. I still owe you guys a broadcast on all of my supplements. I still owe that to you guys on the supplements. I'm still working on that. I need a block of time where I can work on the OBS. Yeah, thanks for the chat too, Henry. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys take care. See you next time. What I found is if I give you the big finger, that usually ends up being the thumbnails. Take care, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.